You think you know how strong Sung Jin Woo is? Think again. Most people stop at the anime, but if you examine the webtoon and read the novels, you will discover that his power transcends everything you've seen before. In the novels, it is revealed that at level 999, or even beyond into infinity, Sung Jin Woo becomes so overwhelmingly powerful that all previous feats seem like mere child's play. Today, I am diving deep into the untold power of the Shadow Monarch, exploring abilities you have never witnessed, battles that redefine what overpowered means, and feats that will utterly blow your mind. Sung Jin Woo's full potential, as showcased in the new Solo Leveling Ragnarok sequel, turns every previous display of strength into a joke compared to what he has become. Even though he is classified as a summoner class hunter, a type not traditionally renowned for brute physical strength, Sung Jin Woo is built completely different, evolving through the architect's system logic into a being of unimaginable might. By the end of the original Solo Leveling series, his strength alone had surpassed level 350, but in Ragnarok his power is truly immeasurable. For perspective, the average S rank hunter's strength is around 50 to 60, and every level gained follows an exponential curve that makes a staggering difference in combat capability. Sung Jin Woo had already reached new heights in Season 2 after the Red Gate incident, an event that allowed him to stand toe-to-toe with Baek Yoon-ho, the guild master of the White Tiger Guild. And rank battle is said to cause devastation on a city level, where the very environment risks being obliterated, and in Ragnarok Chapter 229, we learn that an S-class battle can be as destructive as a natural disaster, too. This immense power is why Sung Jin Woo devised a virtual reality hunter's game, enabling S-rankers to train to their heart's content without the collateral damage of decimating entire cities. We witnessed the true might of his power during the Yujo incident, when a 20-year-older, much weaker Thomas Andre, who wasn't even at national level at that time, unleashed shockwaves with every punch, obliterating buildings and leaving the area in ruins. At that level of strength, he even raised a forest in the Elvenwood, and by the time of the Jeju Island raid, Sung Jin Woo was already stronger than all other S-rank hunters in Korea combined. When he reached level 97 after clearing the Demon Castle, his true progress became evident as the Korean strike force attempted to challenge the Black Ants, but were completely dominated by his power. While his opponents struggled, Sung Jin Woo toyed with the enemy, effortlessly clapping the Ant King, a foe responsible for the death of multiple Japanese S-rank hunters, including a national-level candidate like Gu Ruji. By defeating and then taming the Ant King, he not only demonstrated his unrivaled strength, but also established himself as a threat on a country-wide scale. Furthermore, in Ragnarok at level 100, Sung Jin Woo witnessed his son Suho effortlessly dispatch an S-rank Naga boss in the Manipur dungeon with a single building-sized shot. At that moment, even Suho's father, had he been at the same level, could have achieved a similar feat. Combining several S-rank strikes, an entire city could vanish in an instant. The only beings on the planet comparable to Sung Jin Woo at level 100 are the national level hunters, which leads to the conclusion that he is capable of destroying an entire nation's army on his own. Yet his power does not stop there. His strength is shown to be incomparable in his battle against the strongest national level hunter and tanker, Thomas Andre. In that fight, Sung Jin Woo pushed Thomas Andre to the brink of death, completely overpowering him even after Andre transformed using the power of the ruler. Their battle was so fierce that by its end, a whole building had been reduced to rubble, creating a crater that, if it had occurred in a populated area, would have erased an entire block. And this was achieved without even employing all of his available powers. Just by defeating Thomas Andre, who, at level 146, had already been classified as a continent-level threat, having once defeated the S-class dragon boss Comus, responsible for decimating the US West Coast and massacring over 99 S-class hunters, with only 5 survivors, including Thomas Andre himself. We see that his true potential remains far from fully unleashed. But what if I told you that Sung Jin Woo transcends imagination, ascending to a planetary level of power? At this point, you might be wondering, how is this even possible? Isn't he just a human hunter like everyone else? No, he is anything but ordinary. He is built different. After showcasing an undying will to survive against the most improbable odds, Jin Woo, who began as an E-rank hunter, was chosen to become the Shadow Monarch, the most powerful creation in the entire universe. The absolute being who forged everything in his universe originally created two groups of immensely powerful entities: the rulers, composed of fragments of light, and the monarchs, formed from darkness. The first Shadow Monarch, Ashborn, originally started as a ruler and was crafted from the greatest fragment of life, rendering him the strongest among his peers. His unwavering loyalty to the Absolute Being earned him a secret gift for being a daddy's favorite. A gift that proved crucial when the rulers and monarchs grew weary of their endless conflict and killed their creator. Before they could act, however, the rulers had ganged up on Ashborn, leaving him for dead so that he could not interfere. Yet before he could perish, the gift awakened within him upon death, transforming him into the Shadow Monarch. At that point, only one other entity could match his power: the King of the Dragons and the Monarch of Destruction, Ainz, who was not only the strongest and oldest of the 9 monarchs, but also the final antagonist of Solo Leveling. Regardless, Jin Woo was blessed with the inheritance of the strongest power in his universe, a power that, at the very least, eclipses all others in his world. Before he could fully tap into this godlike ability, Ashborn meticulously trained him using a game-like system, ensuring that he learned to use every power correctly without destroying his body. This rigorous training reveals exactly how overpowered Jin Woo becomes, which makes his battle with Thomas Andre even more astonishing. Just as Thomas Andre was chosen to wield the godlike power of the rulers, he was able to confront apostles of entities comparable to the other monarchs before fully harnessing Ashborn's power. That is why, with his complete power on display, Jin Woo can dispatch both the Frost Monarch and the Beast Monarch in just a few strikes. Mind you, the Beast Monarch alone made a mockery of Germany's strongest hunter, Leonard Enman and Thomas Andre. Together, the Beast Monarch could be hurled through multiple buildings, demolishing them with his raw power. Yet, at level 146 and fully awakened, Jin Woo not only ended the Beast Monarch but also fought on equal footing and defeated the Dragon Monarch, Ainz, the strongest of all creations. This victory demonstrated his ability to counter even the overwhelming onslaught of black flames. To put his strength into perspective, consider that Intrez had conquered Canada, the world's second largest country, and was hailed as the most durable armored creature in existence. Yet, all of this pales in comparison to Jin Woo's might. After the timeline reset, he further ascended in the void, reaching heights that would allow him to one-shot Ainz without breaking a sweat. But our GOAT is not just unimaginably strong, he is also incredibly fast. A significant part of his remarkable speed is due to his shadow exchange ability, which lets him use his shadows as fast travel points, enabling him to swap locations in the blink of an eye. Before the final battle, he literally teleported from America to Korea in mere seconds, though this method requires an already established shadow to work. Even without that trick, Jin Woo's speed is extraordinary. Early in his ascent, he became nearly undetectable by other S-rank hunters, vanishing mid-sentence as he leapt past clusters of reporters immediately after his promotion to S-rank. By the end of the series, he was virtually untraceable to every other monarch, except in the rarest circumstances. Furthermore, when the Beast Monarch attempted to escape through a portal, Jin Woo responded by covering the entire planet in shadow, instantly locating the escape route and teleporting to intercept him. This means that wherever his shadow can reach, he can appear in an instant, almost like instantaneous transmission. It gets even more astonishing when we consider his son, Suho, who is currently undergoing his own leveling process to become the new Monarch of Destruction in the Ragnarok light novel. Although Suho is past level 100, he is still far from matching his father's maximum power. In fact, one of Jin Woo's Legion commanders, Baru, remains much more powerful than Suho and has only recently even surpassed his mother, Cha Hien, in strength. Even as a child, Suho reached level 99 during a trial in the Shadow Dungeon, an ordeal where he had to dodge and overcome his father's shadows, As noted in chapter 269 of the original Solo Leveling novel, it was even stated that Suho broke the sound barrier and exceeded the speed of light during that trial. Although some may dismiss these feats as mere dreams, Chapter 305 of Ragnarok confirms that Suho is indeed fast enough to dodge dense beams of light. Before this event, Suho was recorded at level 122 in Chapter 243, and after accounting for all level-up notifications while dodging laser attacks, he reached level 135, just 11 levels shy of the point where Jin Woo's system halted his progression. This all occurred before Suho even acquired the full extent of Ashbourne's powers. While these bursts of light speed might be interpreted as extraordinary reaction times, true teleportation, moving instantaneously from one location to another, remains a hallmark of his abilities. Although Jin Woo typically employs shadow exchange or rides on Kaisel instead of direct teleportation, his son has demonstrated the ability to sprint from Seoul to Yongpang, covering roughly 200 kilometers in the blink of an eye. When I asked Harrison about this feat, he calculated that traveling 200 kilometers in 0.4 seconds would require a speed of 500,000 meters per second, or 1.8 million kilometers per hour, approaching a significant fraction of the speed of light. Even if these numbers sound astronomical, they underscore the fact that Jin Woo's speed is in a league of its own, further enhanced by his Quicksilver ability, which boosts his velocity by an additional 30%. However, speed and strength are meaningless without durability, and there is a reason why the world's strongest hunter before Jin Woo was a tanker like Thomas Andre. One of the most crucial abilities aiding our hero is Candy Aru's Blessing, a passive power that regenerates any damaged body part, coupled with a longevity factor that renders him immune to diseases, illnesses, and poisons. This blessing ensures that no heart virus or minor ailment can ever weaken him. Even when absorbing a massive unguarded strike from the Ant King, who was capable of threatening an entire continent on his own, Jin Woo sustained only a tiny cut on his lips at level 97. The Ant King's status as an S-class boss meant that the combined forces of Japan, Korea, and even China had to unite against him. And while Thomas Andre and his allies were busy demolishing buildings and creating craters, Jin Woo calmly continued his battle, gaining massive amounts of aura with each step and every gesture. After becoming the true Shadow Monarch, the only one who came close to denting his aura was Ains, whose black flames of destruction left a permanent scar on him, a scar that Suho later recalls in Chapter 199. That attack was so devastating it could literally erase a being from existence, yet Jin Woo managed to tank it with his bare hands, suffering only minor burns. In that same confrontation, he mastered Shadow Armor, a technique that transforms death itself into a shield, allowing him to withstand 7 simultaneous beams of destruction with barely any damage. Even if an enemy manages to bypass his shadow defenses, he simply regenerates, proving his resilience time and again. During Suho's battle against the S-rank hunter Sidar Bhutan, corrupted by the power of the rulers, Jin Woo's staggering power was on full display as he endured unimaginable levels of punishment while facing Ains. Once Suho reached level 99, his trial to become the candidate for the Monarch of Destruction commenced, forcing him to level up to 100 while being engulfed in the black flames of destruction. In that excruciating battle, Suho's body was charred black, and his HP dropped by 50% from 96,000 to 50,000. The only reason he survived was the over 113,000 mana points he used to fortify himself. Just moments earlier, Suho had absorbed a colossal attack from Sart's rum-powered Ustra, a strike so immense that the entire state of Manipur and its surroundings were alerted. Without his ingenious tactic to use the black flames to counter Sidar, Suho would have been incinerated instantly. This shows that not even flames capable of burning existence can fully kill Jin Woo. At level 146, he boasted 93,500 HP and over 155,000 magic points even before his Shadow Monarch, awakening. It is no wonder that concentrated beams of destruction from Ainz himself left only a mere scratch on him. While discussing raw statistics is impressive, we must remember that Jin Woo is a mage summoner class hunter. His true strength lies in his ability to manipulate his powers. The first of these is the ruler's authority, a telekinetic ability that lets him move objects with his mind, from small debris to enormous stone statues of the architect. By comparing the size of these statues to his own form, one can clearly see that he is capable of moving literal buildings. This feat, achieved before he ascended to monarch status, suggests that he could now easily shift a small island if he wished. In fact, after traveling back in time, he once moved an entire U.S. Army base with ease. This included roughly 10 tanks weighing between 1.2 and 1.6 million pounds each. Another devastating ability in his arsenal is Dragon Sphere, akin to Conqueror's Haki on steroids. Just as Luffy could make an entire army of 50,000 faint with his Haki, Jin Woo declared that even 10 million of the Dragon Monarch's henchmen would be stricken with fear from a single shout. The absurdity of this power lies in its universal effect. Anyone weaker than him would tremble at the sound of his roar. By the series' end, he had amassed over 10 million shadows, likely even more by now, as evidenced by his mention of recruiting another soldier, Baru's Strength, in chapter 170 of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
For perspective, in chapter 216, after defeating Sadar Buten and reaching level 100, Suho was still too weak to comprehend the full extent of Baru's power, who remained in a weakened Chibai form due to being separated from his master, Jin Woo. When a shadow soldier is too far from him, across multiple universes, their mana cannot be replenished, forcing them to rely on magic stones and magic beast corpses for nourishment over 200 chapters, leaving them operating below full capacity. This is how utterly overpowered Jin Woo's shadow army is, as even individual shadows can take on entire monarchs. Yet one of his most remarkable qualities is not just his strength, speed, or durability, it is his intelligence. It was his keen intellect that enabled him to decipher the mechanics of the mysterious statues during the Double Dungeon raid and bring everyone to safety. His strategic thinking not only saved the world from the relentless monarchs, but also rescued countless lives lost in the process. He even hatched a plan to travel back in time and personally eliminate every single monarch, a feat that required both his insane power and extraordinary Exu recover the shadows he would lose in the process. Now, in Solo Leveling Ragnarok, his power is so vast that when Javier, of the same race as the architect, Kiara summons an illusion of Jin Woo from Suho's memories, the illusion defiantly exclaims, "You thought you could control me, the shadow-freaking monarch, you little bitch." That defiant image of Jin Woo carried a will and connection to his true consciousness that spanned universes and dimensions, which is how Suho finally meets his father after a 5-year separation with just one glance. Understanding his son's plight, Jin Woo even gifted him a soul stone, a token that later saved Suho 30 chapters on from the threat of aunts. I am preparing an entire Solo Leveling Ragnarok light novel explanation video, so you will have to wait to learn more about these epic details. Now, what do you think about all this? What? Are you amazed by the sheer scale of Jin Woo's power? Leave your thoughts, theories, and comments below. Your opinion is vital in this discussion. In conclusion, the evolution of Jin Woo from a mere hunter to the unstoppable Shadow Monarch is the central theme of Solo Leveling. His journey from struggling at low ranks to harnessing godlike abilities epitomizes the boundless potential of human will when fused with supernatural power. Each battle, each victory, and each strategic decision reinforces his position as the ultimate force in his universe. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the untold power of Jin Woo. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you never miss another epic analysis. And remember, the story of Solo Leveling is far from over. Stay tuned for more insights into the ever-evolving universe of hunters, monarchs, and the cosmic forces that govern them. Get your gamer subs ready, because the journey into the realm of unimaginable power has just begun.